Now, encounter between forces and Jaish terrorists is something that we'd already brought to you a little while back, but there's more updates coming in. This encounter is currently underway in Chhatru area of Kishtwar. Forces have suspected 2 to 3 terrorists are hiding in this very region. There's a fierce gunfight that's currently underway between the forces and the terrorists. JEM's most wanted Saifullah is among the terrorists that we were in fact bringing to you details about. From our colleague Mir Farid, who in fact is joining us on the broadcast to bring us more details of this very operation that is currently underway. Mir Farid joins us on the broadcast. Mir, just to understand these are viewers, let's just tell you this, these are exclusive visuals that we're bringing to you of the operation which is currently underway. You can understand the fierce gunfire that's already on in this region between the exchange between the forces and the terrorists hiding. Mir, I would request you to just take us through these details as we are bringing to our viewers these visuals.
Sneha, these are exclusive visuals that we have managed to access from ground zero. Now, mind you, these are deferred visuals of the gunfight, you can clearly see how the security forces are locked in this fierce gun battle with at least 2 to 3 Jaish cadre, which also includes, our sources say, Saifullah, the most wanted Jaish commander who's been operational in the area from the last 3-4 years, the mastermind of a number of attacks against security forces, civilian population, and someone who had managed to give slip to the security forces in at least 7 to 8 previous operations. But finally, he's been trapped, and you can clearly see it is on a hill that one structure, most probably a nomadic dhok, a hut, where they were, which in fact they were using as a hideout, and security forces, based on intel input, cordoned off the area, and as the search was started, they were pinpointed, in fact, pinned down in that dhok, and then through effective fire, you can clearly see intense exchange of fire. The dhok, in many ways, has been blown up. We've been told that one terrorist has been killed. The body is not yet retrieved, but drone footage says that he's lying there with weapons. He has been killed, but at least 2 more could still be there. And the forces right now trying their best to eliminate their resistance at the earliest and close this operation. But as I said, if they manage to neutralize Saifullah, then it is probably one of the biggest successes that they have achieved in recent times because of the importance of the man. He was A++. He was taking care of the Jaish cadre, all the attacks he was planning, executing, and then most important, he was also taking directions from the handlers from across the border. So he was the man for the Jaish. And today, we've been told that he's trapped. But any further confirmation only after security forces come out with an official correspondence on this particular operation.
Right, Mir, you know, earlier you were also telling us about one of the biggest challenges for, in fact, undertaking any operation, or rather executing any operation in these regions seems to be the terrain. And these terrorists who in fact operate from these regions, they are also very well aware of how to use the terrain to their advantage to in fact escape certain situations like this. If you could just throw some light on that, because we're showing our viewers those very visuals of how the gunfire exchange is currently underway in this very region.
Well, yes, you're absolutely right. This was a strategy that they changed, in fact, from urban theater to jungles and to rural and the jungle theater. They shifted these terror operations from say, city areas to the forest. Now, this happened 4-5 years back, and initially, the security forces obviously took time to take grip of the situation because this was something new. And this cadre, now, let me tell you, they're very heavily armed, trained, and they have the latest equipment, including GPS and other area tracking devices that they use to just glide through these forest areas. Now, as you could be seeing in the visuals, now these are upper reaches. This is tough terrain to conduct operations, and that's why we've seen that previously using these dense jungles, these caves, natural formations, they have managed to give slip to security forces in a number of operations. But finally, it seems their luck ran out. And the bigger question on this strategy, yes, this is something that is tough. These operations are tough for the security forces because, as I said, of all the challenges, including the terrain, and then also the kind of training. Now, these terrorists have military special force training that they have got and have been specifically trained to operate in jungle environment, sustain using local logistics, and then also use OGWs to get supplies, etc., to remain there in the forest area. So that's what they have been doing. But as I said, the forces have also been on their hot trail last some time, and we have seen at least the last 15 to 20 days non-stop cordon search operations in the Chhatru forest area, and that's something that has finally yielded results.